That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome in to the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 12-year NFL veteran.
He's got some speed to go with strength.
Huskers and Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer.
Shovel pass to Green into Vikings territory. Finally brought down.
And University of Nebraska eSports coach.
Green all by himself. 20, 10, touchdown. 98 yards and a Lambeau leap.
Here is your host, Ahman Green.
Welcome into the Ahman Green Show, kicking off ticket weeknights for you tonight right here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. The streams are where you're going to want to catch us as well. That's Ahman's specialty, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, working on getting connected with Ahman. So stay tuned for him. I'll take you through until we are able to get all of that sorted out. If you have any thoughts for the Husker Hall of Famer, the Green Bay Packers all-time career leading rusher, 402-464-5685. Any questions that you want to ask him, I got to go through me, but I can see if I can get those asked for you tonight or every Thursday night, 6 to 7. Great addition to the Ticket Weeknights lineup, the Ticket family. We're thrilled to have Ahman on. And you've heard from DP with Ahman the last couple of weeks. DP's got business to take care of right now. DP is in Miami. He's getting ready for the UFC fight that he's covering. So we'll catch up with DP at some point next week. Again, looking forward to getting Ahman Green on the stream. Again, the digits for you to get into the stream, if anything you want to ask of Ahman, 402-464-5685. Leave a comment on any of the streams that you're watching. I'll make sure that we can get to those at some point. Plenty to get to with Ahman once we get him connected. A quick Masters update for you. First round is in progress. Victor Hovland leading the way right now. He shot 7 under, tied with Jon Rahm and Brooks Koepka. Impressive comeback from Koepka. He, I believe he bogeyed a par 5 and yet recovered to shoot that 7 under 65 for his round today. Again, a 3-way tie up top. Victor Hovland, Jon Rahm, and Brooks Koepka leading the Masters through round 1. All of those players are in the clubhouse. Next closest, you have a couple guys, Jason Day among them at 5 under par. Again, we're working on getting Ahman on the stream here. If that doesn't work, we'll just have him call in to make sure we get the Ahman Green Show. It's not the Austin Norman Show for Ticket Weeknights. It is the Ahman Green Show. So working on getting him. We will see what we can do to that end. Other things I want to talk to Ahman about is spring football. You know, that's something he went through with Nebraska multiple times. What was that like for him being in the dog days? Like Kenny and Jay talked about, what's it like being in the middle of spring ball? How does that work? What gets you through spring ball, both at the college level and, not necessarily spring ball, but, summer ball and OTAs and minicamp in the pros? Get Ahman's thoughts on that, what got him through, who were the guys he relied on in that. Plenty of other Husker thoughts as well. Again, one of the greats, Ahman Green, joining the Ticket Weeknights lineup here Thursday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. Hopefully we can get Ahman and Jay talking at some point here soon as well. Get Kenny in the conversation. That'd be fun. Former Huskers talking ball. All right, get that set up. Hopefully we can get Ahman to call in here. But yeah, getting all the former Huskers together would be a blast. It would be a lot of fun to hear because they weren't all at the same time. I think Ahman and Jay would have played together, but Kenny was just before them. But again, very similar experiences between the three of them with the coaching staffs and their experience. I mean, a lot of winning between the three of them, a whole lot of wins, some national championships. Kenny laying the foundation for Ahman and Jay to get Nebraska over the hump, get Coach T.O. on the board there, and send him out the right way. So again, ticket weeknights here. I'm Austin Orman, waiting for Ahman Green in the Ahman Green Show. Other stuff that we want to get to tonight in the gaming realm as well, because Ahman, of course, back to be an esports professor here at Nebraska, teaching about what esports is, what they are, and then also coaching the esports team at Nebraska. What does that look like moving forward? What's his vision? DP's touched on it a little bit with him over the last couple of weeks, but I got a whole litany of questions for Ahman. Let's see if we can bring in Mr. Ahman Green. Ahman, is that you?
Hello.
Excellent. Sorry about the issues with the stream, but welcome into your own show. How's your week been?
Going good.
Glad.
Who is this, Austin?
Yes, sir. Yes, Austin with you.
Got it. No, it's been going good. How about yourself?
Yeah, cannot complain. I'm with you tonight, DP, in Miami, getting ready for the UFC fight. Jay and Kenny had to dip. So it's you and me for the next hour, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good deal. So let's start here. Husker football in the middle of spring ball. You're in the middle of semester. What's the difference? What's the similarity between being in the middle of the semester as a student or a professor, or the kind of dog days of spring ball during spring practice?
It's just keeping the mental in the right position, because your body is saying no, so you gotta keep telling your brain yes. To stay focused, obviously on the football field, and during spring ball, because it's back at it again, hitting again for some of the players, and then for another group of players, they never really got a chance to, we had to either redshirt or they just transferred in, so they're just getting acclimated to the team. So you have two sets of minds going on, and I say for the people that have been there and played a lot during the season, it's just like, all right, let's focus on what I can learn right now in this 15 practices, 20 practices that can help me better my game, and then get ready for fall, here in another, after this, probably like 4 or 5 months to get, to come back strong there as well.
What were some of the things you told yourself in the middle of spring ball to help you get through it? Because, I mean, talent gets you so far, but what was it that helped you keep working hard and push through, the mundane parts of spring ball?
Just telling myself that I'm gonna get better in something, find something that I want to work on, be it footwork, be it catching the ball, picking the blitz, reading blitzes, or reading defenses, pre-snap, something like that. Just always telling your body, like I said, telling your body, but telling your mind, giving yourself a task. Because if you don't have a task at hand outside of the coaching, and the good thing is, like with these kids here, they got a whole new coaching staff coming in, so you're actually probably more aware and fully alert to listen to them more than anything, because you're learning how they coach, you're learning how they're gonna be during the regular season once it gets here. So you're getting a snapshot idea of that. But for myself, it would just make it, give myself a task to do and try to accomplish it to get better by the end of spring ball.
So that's what you told yourself. Who were the people that you relied on? Because I'm sure, you can be self-motivated to a point, but who are the people, whether it's coaches or teammates that helped you push through in some of those moments?
It was real. Yeah, it was a toss-up between a few players, teammates of mine, the guys on defense, obviously rallying in my cage, being the defensive player, a little bit of trash talking, but also I know they were doing things that's going to make me better, stripping at the ball, making it hard for me to get out the backfield, or making it hard for me to pick up blitz and stuff like that. And obviously the coaches doing their job. Coach Solich was my coach, and making sure, he always made sure that we were prepared mentally and physically. So it was always a big thing. I depended on a lot of him during spring ball, and Coach Osborne to coach us up on everything mentally and physically, and show us things and teach us things that we continue to develop as young players to get to the next level, basically.
You mentioned Coach Solich, the big news that he's coming back. He'll be honored at the spring game. What does that mean to you as someone who was in his room to see your former position coach get the honor, probably very well deserved at the spring game?
Yeah, I was like, oh, very cool. I get to see him. I haven't seen him in a while. We talked over the phone over the years. We just talked recently, actually, before I heard about the announcement. So I thought that was pretty cool. We just talked, and now I get to see him here in a few weeks. So he, along with Coach Osborne, to see him together again and link in on the field. I don't know how they're going to do the ceremony, but I'm assuming like at halftime of the spring game or before the game. And I'm definitely going to be out there on that field watching, cheering on, give him a handshake and say hello and have a pretty, decent conversation with him, which I haven't had in face-to-face in a while. So it's just going to be really fun to see that. And for myself, like I said, it's been really, really super exciting to be back home, college, coaching college, eventually, I say teaching it now, but coaching it come the fall in terms of, working out the esports program and getting it up and running at the varsity level.
Plenty of esports questions for you later on in the show, but as an alum of the program, how important is it for Nebraska and for you guys that invested your blood, sweat, tears, time, effort, energy into the program to have events like, honoring Coach Solich? How important is it to get you guys back in the same room and tell stories, laugh, see each other again?
It's going to be fun. I mean, because it's just, opportunity for the kids that are on campus, football players and just general students to learn. A lot of these kids now, college students, were babies when, in the mid 2000s or say early 2000s. So they weren't even around when myself, Coach Solich, Coach Osborne were coaching and me playing. So, and they know because they've seen the history books or they've seen highlights on TV that we were a good team. And so to kind of hear some of the stories of what we went through as players and coaches to get better, to stay on top of our game, because literally every week somebody had a bullseye on our, we had a bullseye on our back in terms of beating the number one team or the number two team in the country, whoever was coming into Memorial Stadium, or if we were going on the road, we knew it. We were going to get every team's best effort because that was their championship. That was their Super Bowl. So we knew we had to play at the top of our game, every week out there for the years out that I was on the field and for the years before I got in Lincoln as a Cornhusker.
How important was Coach Solich in helping you guys as running backs and as an offense approach each week with that target on your back? Because it's easier to be the hunter where you have that goal to strive for. To be the hunted is tough. And you guys did it at that level for basically ever. It's how integral was Coach Solich, Coach Osborne in, helping you approach being the hunted?
Well, they kept reminding us of getting better and not being complacent, thinking ahead, making sure, starting with how they would develop our game plan for every game, our practice schedule for every practice, and for every segment of practice, for every part of the game plan that was for the games on Saturday, we knew it was about winning and that we had to condition our bodies, our minds in the weight room, on the football field, our practices in mid-season and even mid-season, midweek. You could be in week 4 and 5 and 6, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays was probably our most brutal practices. We were hitting hard to make, the effort of knowing that we're going to have to deal with this on Saturday. And really, we probably practiced more hard than we actually had to play the game come Saturday, which was, not a discount to the teams we were playing against. It was just showing how high level of football we were playing, along with the effort from both sides of the ball. Every player out there that was a starter or a backup. We had 5 stations of full offenses going on. 5 stations, 5 offenses. That means 5 quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, fullbacks, linemen, tight ends. We're all learning the scheme of the offense, learning the schemes of the defense, and everybody getting the same amount of reps. So that means come Saturday, me starting or somebody else being my backup, they had the same amount of run plays, the same amount of reps I have. So they were just as ready to play the game as me as a starter, or even, for the backup to come up off the bench.
Moving that into what you're doing now with the esports coaching, how is it that you think you'll be able to make your practices harder than your tournaments? How does that look for you in terms of practice versus tournaments in coaching esports?
Yeah, so as probably no different, getting a lot of reps in. And I've sat down with the club president, the game managers, and the game advisors of the club team, and a lot of them, they do a lot of scrimmages. That means they play a lot of games against other schools. And sometimes they do internal scrimmages, but a lot of them do the scrimmages, which is really no different than what we did. We did 9-on-7. We did move the ball, and those are just a segment of playing a full game. And so here in the esports world, we have our teams from the Smash Brothers players to the Mario Kart players to the Call of Duty players. They're playing scrimmages against Mankato, against South Dakota, against Concordia, UNO. So they're getting live reps against real, other schools that they'll be possibly competing with, come the regular season schedule. So that they've been doing that on their own for 4 years. So now I'm just bringing in more of more time in the practice field. I say on the practice structure, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, and that's going to eventually, they'll get used to it, and they'll start, getting to the point where they understand why we're doing it. Because obviously having the structure where we're doing it 5 days a day, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day together, than being at home in their apartment or their dorm rooms, that's going to be the big change for them.
Are there any schools you guys are looking at as the hunted, the schools to the target on their back that you're coming for?
Yeah, we know some schools. Like, I know Ottawa, I believe, is out of Iowa. They're really good at COD, Call of Duty, and there's Rocket League too. We play well, but Maryville, Boise State, those are schools that are similar, going to be rivalries, kind of like when I was playing against Colorado, against Oklahoma, or now Nebraska versus Iowa. And having those rivalries in the esports space is going to be just as fun and just as big of the hype going in and out of the game of who wins and who loses. But it's all going to be for fun as well, because obviously it's going to be a lot of respect coming from both sides.
You mentioned what your players are good at and what other schools, might be known for. Something we've heard out of Nebraska spring football is moving players around. They came in as one position, they moved to another. Is that something you've had yourself, look at with your athletes? Is, hey, I came in playing Super Smash Brothers. Hey, I came in playing Call of Duty. But you see them like, hey, give Rocket League a try because you see a trade in them. Do they come in? Do they stick with their games? That's what they've done and they're good at it? Or do you shuffle them around?
It depends. If I see a player that can handle the weight of being a college student, adjusting to their college schedule, even if they have a job, and if they can handle more than one game, then I'll ask them if they want to. And I'll pose the question, hey, you want to play? We need help in Call of Duty, or we need help in Valorant. And you're right now only playing Madden, or you're only playing 2K, a single player game. That's when I'll ask that. But if it's when that player is playing multiple team games like Overwatch 2 and Call of Duty, I gotta test their game, the time management, because it's gonna be all about that. Because like I said, they got a college schedule, they may be working a job, and then they got to practice both teams with both sets of teammates in Overwatch 2, which is 5v5. So they got 4 teammates they got to adjust to there. And in Call of Duty, which is 4 teammates. So they got 3 teammates they got to adjust to there. So just being mindful of that from my point of view to make sure they're not burned out or not overwhelmed mid-season. So I just got to be conscious of that. But ask them and then maybe give it a try to see how it goes. And if I see any slippage in the attendance of practice, attendance of class, or grade point average dropping a little bit, getting a report from the academic advisors, then I will make that change then. But if they can hold that up and keep everything at a high level, then you know what, we could throw them in more games.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7. The Ticket. You're hearing from former Husker great, former Packer great, Ahman Green. I'm Austin Norman taking you through the hour. We're going to step aside, take our first break of the show. Plenty more to get to with Ahman on the other side.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. But now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction material. They sell in bulk to save you money, buying anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. They deliver anywhere, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, they'll deliver in town for free through the month of April, with some restrictions applying. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It's April, and that means the school year's almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Spring is in the air. Everyone knows this is the best time of the year to buy and sell a home. Johanna Rhodes with RE/MAX Concepts Real Estate is your go-to agent for help with one of life's big decisions. Come see Johanna at the Lincoln Earth Day celebration Saturday, April 15th at UNL's Innovation Campus. Green vehicles, local foods, live music, and family-friendly activities from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn more at lincolnearthday.org.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown comes to Lincoln's Pinnacle Bank Arena, April 14th.
I am back.
You'll see Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, Sami Zayn, and more. And from Monday Night Raw, the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson face the Judgment Day's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. And more. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A mix of sun and clouds at times today, but much warmer as we'll top out near 60. South-southwest winds at around 15 to 20. Overnight mainly clear with a low down to around 35. Even warmer tomorrow with a high of 68 as south winds will be gusting 25 to 30. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. This is the Ahman Green Show. Yes, that Ahman Green, not a different one. The one that you all know and love. We really love having him as a part of the Ticket Weeknights lineup here every Thursday from 6 to 7. Ahman, we'll start the segment off with a question from the text line. I think you addressed it last week, but just to to make sure. Someone says their nephew plays Rocket League for Ottawa University. And are there scholarships available for esports at UNL?
Yes, they are. We have 10 scholarships right now. They're partials, and there's if you're an in-state student, it's basically they're both around equal out. I think around $12,000 a year, and that breaks down to $3,000 per year, $1,500 per semester, and then a little bit of bump for out-of-state students as well. So we have that offer, and we have actually at the moment we have 7 left. I just offered and rewarded 3 scholarships out to our first group of rewardees of earning scholarships. One Brittany plays Overwatch. Ethan plays Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. And I'm trying to think. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a Rocket Leaguer as well. He's a Rocket League player. So we have 3 so far given out, and we'll start the process next week. And we have 7 more to give out before, between now and fall semester.
What is that process? Is that you going on the road to tournaments and scouting, or is that something that the kids apply for themselves? What is that process?
Oh, the process is like the first one. Like you said, me going out there recruiting. So recently, I've been hopeful enough where the kids are actually reaching out to me because they've been seeing the articles, the interviews I've done since for the 3 months I've been back in Lincoln. And so they're getting my email, they're sending messages, they get in my Discord, and questioning me, kind of like what we're talking about now, asking what they need to do, what information they need to give me. So once they get in contact, it's some of the basic information of like if I was recruiting a traditional sport athlete, obviously your stat. If you play Valorant, want to know your main character, what your ranking is with that character, which I think the highest ranking in Valorant, don't quote me on this, but I know it's like Radiant or Immortal somewhere in there. And Rocket League is like Grand Champion or Supersonic. That's the highest level you can be. And one of the players that we just signed, actually a player I just talked to is at that supersonic level. So asking their ranking, asking their grade point average, if they took the SAT or the ACT, if their high school has esports, give me their coach's contact information. And then once I see the ranking, once I even see film that I break down, I ask them to send me clips of a full game. Some highlights are good, but I'd rather have a full game of video where I could sit down, watch a couple games of that player play and see how and if it has comms where I could hear them communicating with their teammates so I could understand what type of talker they are, if they talk a lot, if they're really detailed, and understand that as part of playing competitive video games, especially when you're on teams, got to have clear communication. So once I get a chance to look at all that and see all the numbers, and then that's when I put my offer out. And for the kids, like I said, I just offered, they were hitting all the green flags that I wanted to get them offered a scholarship and to become the first class of Nebraska esports program.
Are you the recruiting department for the Nebraska esports program? Do you have anyone helping you out with that?
Oh, yeah, no, I got help. I'm not doing it by myself. I have Alex Fernando, who is our director.
Oh, Alex is great. Alex is awesome.
Yeah, the assistant director of recruitment in the College of Journalism and Mass Communication. So him and I have been working together since I got on campus, and we actually are going to some events here later this month down in Kansas City for the Kansas High School Esports Championships. And then I'll be going in May to Texas for the Texas High School Esports Championships as well to recruit players, get our information out there to players down in Texas. And like I said, also, excuse me, in Kansas City, and also I say in Nebraska as well, because the Nebraska High School Esports Championships is in Concordia this year. So we'll be there checking out and recruiting as well.
For those that don't know Alex at the J School, the first thing that I knew about Alex once I met him, Ahman, is that he is a diehard Husker. Like, that's the first thing he wants you to know about himself. And I think that's awesome.
Very true. I mean, when I first met him, I walked in his office and you could tell he got his master's from Nebraska, and he's been there, I'll say from his freshman year till now. He still bleeds red and white, and it shows. And you got to have that. Obviously, somebody that's giving tours, that is conversating with young adults to just make their decisions to come to Nebraska. You will want Alex definitely talking to him. And then I say with both of us, because I'm the same way. I'm very passionate. I got a bulldog on my left arm that has a Nebraska jersey on, and so I'm very passionate about my school, and so for us teaming up is like a perfect match because we have the drive, we have the passion, we explain everything to the recruits, and we let them know both, the good and the bad, and we're not telling them stuff that they want to hear. We're telling them things that they need to hear to make a good, solid decision to come to Nebraska, not even for esports, but just to come anyway. And if it does, factor in, if the esports program factor in, that's even better. Obviously for myself, for the esports club and the varsity side of it to keep continue to grow.
Is Alex helping you do the coaching, or is he just on the recruiting end?
Right now on the recruiting end, and he's helped me out with some of the summer camp setups. We have summer camps that are going down this summer. I believe the dates are I'm on my computer right now. Let me look at the dates of the summer. We're going to tag along with the digital media Big Red camps. And so that is in June, and it goes from June 11th to June 16th. So during that week, I'll have, in terms of esports, about an hour to 2 hour session with high school kids that will be signing up, and we'll be talking about the whole process of becoming a college player, of developing your skills, of being a good, solid team player. And then if you want to do anything like content creation, how you create your own Twitch channel or YouTube channel, what it takes and what's the drive, what's the plan, what's to run a show that you have to start writing up week by week, or every time you stream a game, what are your topics? What are the things that you want to ask your chat or do a giveaway or anything like that to have that fan engagement when you're a streamer or you're doing your own podcast?
We have quite a few people watching right now on Twitch, also some on Twitter, and I assume that's going to be our younger audience. Is there a sign up available for them now, or when can they start getting registered for that opportunity?
It's now. You could get a hold of Alex right now. I don't have the actual link of the website. I know it's Big Red Camp. So if you go on to Nebraska, the UNL, campus landing page, and you look for Big Red Camps, that's where you can get that information. So now that you put me on my job, so next show I'll make sure I have them for you and everybody else out there. So make sure all the kids know where to go sign up for the Big Red Camps. That's going to have the esports, intro to esports class along with the digital media class.
Well, Ahman, you're on our airwaves. This is your platform. We got to help you make sure people show up. Can't be running a camp with no one there. Got to get recruits there.
100%. So yeah. So like I said, by next week's show, I'll have that link so I can put it out. I can put it in the chat and put it out there on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else.
We already have a question rolling in about that. Is this for high school kids only, or is there an age range you're looking at?
So right now it's high school kids, and I'm looking to build out for younger ages as well, because I understand that it's happening at the middle school level and at the elementary school level. I mean, I've driven around Lincoln enough in the past 4 months since I've been in town, and I've noticed that the Boys and Girls Club, they have esports programs or esports seasons where they're playing Fortnite or Roblox or Minecraft and get kids started in the gateway games to get them playing into understanding the whole process of being a competitor in the virtual space and in the esports space, to now then graduate them up to the bigger games like Valorant, like Overwatch 2 and like Rocket League.
What are those gateway games?
So like I mentioned, Minecraft, Roblox, I say Fortnite, because it's games that are, I say, for their level, they can understand it real quick. Like Minecraft and Roblox, there are creative games where they basically build a house or they learn how to build. It's just like when I was little, you put the blocks in front of a kid or Lego set in front of a kid, and here you go, put stuff together. It's just like that, but this is in the digital sense. But they've made it an esports where you have to build something in fast as possible. So I've heard of the leagues doing Minecraft where you got to build a car, and it has to look like a car, and it has to feel like it has to be able to be driven, within the game. So you got about 5 minutes, I think, or so, 5 to 10 minutes to build this car, or build whatever is on the list. And whoever finished the build out and it looks good and it drives good, that's the winner. So I've been hearing about that over the last few years.
That's awesome. One from the text line for you as well. Ellis says, just want to thank Ahman for what he's done, continues to do for Nebraska. Years ago when he played for the Packers, my son's favorite team, was the Packers, and you were his son's favorite player. He loved wearing his number 30 jersey everywhere. Ellis' son went on to be an All-American athlete at Nebraska and was recently in some NBA classes with you, was super pumped about it. Ellis then also says, thanks for being such a great representative of Nebraska and good luck in your endeavors. Ahman, you've been with the ticket for about a month now, and we would say the same thing about you.
Appreciate that. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm very passionate about whatever I do. I was passionate back as a freshman coming on campus. I remember Coach Solich having a conversation with me to ask me if I wanted a red shirt. And I basically said, Coach, look, I don't want a red shirt. I know I can help this team win right now. I'll be the punter. I'll help out Jesse. Or I kick off return, or I'll be the water boy. I'll do whatever for I don't have the red shirt, because I know, like I said, I could get on that football field now and play as a freshman in any position. And he's like, okay, well, you make it easy on me. So yeah, I guess you're not red shirting. So yep. And then after that, the hard part for me, I had to pick my number. And then I asked him what was available, and he said, okay, we have these numbers, and then, oh, by the way, we got number 30. And I'm like looking at him, because we both know who wore that number before me, because nobody did other than Mike Rozier. And I'm like, really? And he said, yeah, well, just think about it overnight and get back to me tomorrow. You don't have to make a decision now. So I did that. I went back to my dorm room in Abel Hall on the 3rd floor and called my older brother, Jerry, and I asked him. I told him the story that Coach Solich offered me Mike Rozier's number. And my brother said, so what's the problem? And I'm like, and you know who wore that? You know, it's Mike Rozier. He won the Heisman. He won a national title. And all this other stuff I was rattling off. And my brother goes, you know what? You don't have to worry about that. Create your own path. Fill your own shoes. And it's going to be a lot easier. And then when he said that, it just kind of made sense. He said if for him saying that just kind of made everything really easy. So I just thought about it that way. I fill in my own shoes. I know what a lot of respect to Mike Rozier, but this is, my time, and I'm basically pay respect to him by playing hard as he would, but playing hard in my way. And then basically that's what I did my freshman year, and for the years I was playing football at number 30.
Was that the reason you kept 30 in the NFL as long as you could?
Pretty much. I never 1 year. Actually, before my rookie year, I was going to ask for 34, but I was like, nah, I'm going to stick with 30. That's something I've been rolling with for the past 3 years. Right towards the end of my career, my last season, I ended up wearing 34 for half a season. John Kuhn had it in Green Bay. He was a fullback at that time. And he actually put a price tag on it. And I was like, no, it's all good. I wore it enough. And I believe everybody knows what, me and number 30, they understand who that is. So I wasn't worried about that. So I ended up wearing 34 for like part of the 2009 season.
Does the Nebraska esports team have jerseys?
Yes, they do. So they have jerseys they created for themselves back 3 years ago. But come fall, we already are working on a design now that's coming out, be coming out in the fall for the varsity team. So the club team jerseys are and will be the current jerseys that are out now that you can find if you're in the Discord for Nebraska esports. But come the fall, we'll have another design jersey coming out just for the varsity team players.
Is that something you're able to work with Adidas on and see if they can help you with input from your players?
Well, as of right now, we're not in the athletic department, so I got to go out and reach out on my own to other companies. But if that ever happens, we are always looking to get into the athletic department here on campus, because I know very well. I was an Adidas athlete when I was on campus because I had to wear the jersey and the shoes and socks. So obviously, if we could get in there as the esports program, that would be fantastic. And then we'll know. We know we will get good product from head to toe, not just esports jerseys, but head to toe with every product that Adidas puts out, from backpacks to shoes to hoodies to hats and everything. And I think the kids will definitely enjoy that. And obviously, in a recruiting sense, that would be huge, because then our recruits would see that the esports program is being supported by the school, by being in the athletic department, and also wearing the same gear as all the other traditional sports on campus.
So those are the jerseys. Do you guys have, as the esports team, just an outfit you wear to tournaments, or is it just come presentable, each athlete their own?
We will. So the idea is to have every player have, their kit, player and coach. So that would be a jersey, a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a backpack, and a hat or a beanie, if not both, and obviously sweatpants when we get on the road to have the face-to-face competitions.
That's awesome. This is the Ahman Green Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We got one more segment with the Husker Hall of Famer, the Green Bay Packer legend, Ahman Green. Talking Husker football, talking esports. We got one more segment with him after this.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
There's a new way to vacay when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, Dallas, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFlyRed.com and book today. Flights are public charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
There was a kid at Baylor, and he dealt me this. He was mean. He said some things to me that he shouldn't have said to me. We had scored a touchdown, and you know, when you score a touchdown, extra point, and he was all in my face, talking crazy. Yeah, you keep sending the other dudes over here. You this, you that. Bleep, bleep, bleep. After that field goal, he's in my face like this close. So you know what I did? I spit in his face. Oh, no. You broke the golden rule.
I get him on a
Broke the golden rule.
It wasn't right.
I lost all respect for you.
Why? It was
I don't
against
even want to be on
Baylor.
your show no more. I'm done.
This is the Ahman Green Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time for the week with Mr. Ahman Green. Ahman, something that you mentioned was in your recruiting, in your scouting of these players, you figure out what they play, how they play, who they play. What's the balance between helping those players get better in what they're good at, what you recruit them for, but also helping them branch out into new characters and new play styles?
I test them. I push them kind of like how Coach Osborne and Coach Solich pushed us. They're always giving us insight on how to get better at even though we're good at one point of running the ball or being a football player. But, I remember being taught how to read coverages, and we barely passed the ball when I played ball, but that was getting me ready for the next level of football. A potential chance of me at that time to go to the NFL, I would have to know how to read defenses pre-snap. So, showing the kids, like, for example, I just had one, a high school esports coach at Lincoln High, Owen. He just reached out to me and said he wanted to help out any of the FPS gamers, so all the shooter games from Overwatch 2, the Valorant, the Call of Duty, to help with their aim, their aiming and their tracking of how to shoot a little bit better with controller or mouse and keyboard. And so I was open to that because I say to myself, hey, I've watched the COD team practice and play. I watched the Overwatch 2 team. I've seen clips of their gameplay. I've seen the Valorant game, their clips, and watching them play is like you always can get better no matter how good you are. It's all about the process. I love the process of getting and mastering the skills that you have and whatever you do. And so for those games, mastering the aiming, the tracking, and the reaction to turn, shoot left and right, or do a 360 shot is understanding what the process looks like. And you basically are doing the repetitive training and repetitive muscle movement in your hands, in your wrist, in your fingers, to understand when you do those shots, you're not even thinking, you're just reacting. And that was the same thing I did with football, with all the cuts and learning how to take a tackle or learning how to break tackles. In practice, we practiced that all the time. So when it came game time, it was no thinking for me. It was all reaction. So I want to build that same type of, I say, process development for players to better themselves, where when they get from practice to the match, then there's no thinking in the match. It's all reaction, because all the thinking happens when I'm giving them the information, or Owen or any other coach or game manager is giving them the information on what they need to do repetitively in their aim trainer or in the shooting gallery of the game. That's going to help them get better. And I think a lot of them, and in the last week, I've heard some feedback that they actually like the fact that, I was helping them with that, or even Owen reached out to them to kind of give them something a little better to strive for. And give them something a little different to see if they could intertwine in their preparation to get better and become a better FPS player overall.
So when I think about practicing athletics, I think about, basketball, football. You run your plays. You run your plays so you know what to do, where to go, whose responsibilities are what. Are you able to do that at all in the gaming space, or is a lot of the practice, work on the aiming, work on the tracking, so when you get into maybe an unfamiliar situation, you just react, you don't have to think so much about it?
Yeah, it's just that the more practice time you put in, that means practice time, working on mechanics, but also the scrimmages too, where you get all those reps in and that time. And that's what it takes to be better. It's just about putting time in the game that you're trying to master, or the multiple games that you're trying to master. You're not going to get better playing a game by just thinking about it and not actually doing it. You got to think about it and then go do it. So have practice, talk about it, go over film review, but then get in the game, practice what we just talked about, because then your brain starts to basically, and your body mechanics are all trying to basically line up with one another. So then when, like I said, there's no thinking about what you have to do. You already know the reaction, even from the game plan, from what the strategy is going to be for that game, where you're going to have one player that's going to be the flank person, and then the other 3 or 4 are going to go and head to the point and do the work there. So you always know the game plan, and you talk it out first, but then you run it out physically. Or so you run it out with your characters in the game once the game starts.
I know that, the games are a mix of both the strategy, the mental part, and the reaction time, the aiming, the physical part. What games that your esports teams play are more, brain oriented, more strategic, and which are more geared toward people that just have those great reactions and great tracking aim abilities?
I say the thinking gamers are more in on the League of Legends team. I mean, there is some aiming and shooting there a little bit, but it's more of a League of Legends is more like chess than checkers. Then I want to say the rest of the games like Call of Duty and Valorant, those are the ones that you want to find players that eventually or they already are pure shooters, where they understand the kickback, the spray pattern, and the movement, and know how to, I say, the movement on the map, and I call that map awareness. So how you move around, how you slide, cancel, and jump to make shots or to avoid getting shot. How you walk around a corner when you're when you're just the one person, not having a teammate right behind you. You kind of check the corner, you go up and down, check the sights there through your reticle to make sure, when you see somebody that you see them first and they don't see you, you get the shot off first, and that's a win. So just understanding how you infiltrate an area, and how you clear an area, because you want to make sure you clear an area, when nobody's in there. If you want more people, more of your teammates to get in an area to make their, like in Search and Destroy, you have to plant the bomb, and you got to clear the area first. And if you don't do that, then you put your team at risk.
In a game like that, how important is it to have a leader in the communication, kind of a quarterback back there? And how egalitarian is something like that, where everyone has their role to play?
Oh, it's priority number one. If you don't have a captain, or if you don't have that person that's called a shot caller, like in Overwatch, then there's going to be tough gameplay for your team, because nobody's going to not really know where to go. Nobody's going to know who to focus on or where to focus on their aims or their shots, because you got to have that. The shot caller, like in Overwatch, for example, they are the one person that's doing all the talking and letting everybody else know where they need to put their guns. If it's Mercy or if it's Winston, and they're saying Winston 1,000 times, so all the players know, focus on Winston. Let's take Winston out because he's a healer, and then you can move on to the next person. And the same thing happens in Call of Duty. Is the captain is letting people, or whoever's doing the shot calling, is letting everybody know where they need to go on the map. If it's search and destroy, domination, how you post up in the area if you're securing it to try to gain points, like in domination or control. That you got to make sure you got to have eyes in all directions. Because if you just look one direction, you have 4 players looking one direction, then eventually you're going to get flanked. So you got to make sure you got 4 players looking in all 4 directions, so you hold down the point and gain the advantage of getting all the points to win the match.
Last thing for the week, Ahman. Again, wish we had more time, but we're looking forward to having you on every Thursday like we have for the last month or so. We know, the name Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, LeBron James, Patrick Mahomes. Who are some of the esports athletes that you have your players watch and listen to try to glean some tips from?
I haven't got to that part yet, but I know they do. They do watch players. They watch pro players. I've heard, the usual names as you just mentioned, like Ninja, like Shroud, like Dr. Lupo. Those names pop up. Nick Merckx in conversations or in Discord. But for every game, it's different, especially from like games like League of Legends. You got a Faker, that is a prominent name in the League of Legends space. That's the one player that name gets floated around, and obviously his gameplay, because he's pretty much like the Michael Jordan of League of Legends. So for every game, Valorant too, I'm not sure who that name is yet, but I'll know between now and fall season of who that one player that high school, college players try to emulate their game after, or take things from that player's game. That's something I did. I grew up watching Walter Payton, Bo Jackson, Barry Sanders, Eric Dickerson, playing pro ball, Roger Craig, who played at Nebraska, but also for the 49ers, and watching them, how they ran the ball, how they caught the ball, how they ran tough, how they picked up the blitz. So taking them parts of the game made me better as an athlete, because I knew what it looked like when they did it. And I knew the process that I got to lift these weights. I got to condition my body to be able to handle all those hits and all that physicality. Same in the esports space. If you're going to be a shooter, you got to be a really good shooter. You got to take a lot of shots. You got to work on your mental endurance, because you're not going to hit every shot. So you can't beat yourself up when you miss. You got to stay positive and keep focusing and keep working on it, and never beat yourself up, because once you start beating yourself up, then you make it harder for yourself to come out of that hole to become the best player, best shooter, or it doesn't matter any game. You know, best shooter in an FPS, best sports game player in Madden, FIFA, 2K, or even Rocket League. You got to make sure you always stay positive and never get complacent, so you know you can get better every time you're out there practicing and working on your game.
Ahman, I love that you brought up Dr. Lupo. He lives in Nebraska and he's a Packers fan. This is a collab we need. I'm just going to say that.
What's that?
Dr. Lupo lives in Nebraska and he's a Packers fan. We need this collab.
Okay. I knew he lived in Nebraska. I knew he's from Nebraska, but I did not know he was a Packer fan. So
he's a Packers fan. Find him on Twitter every Sunday.
I have reached out to him in the last month, and so I'm waiting to hear back from him. So Dr. Lupo, if you're listening, or any moderator that moderates for Dr. Lupo, if you're listening, please let him know that Coach Ahman Green here for Nebraska Esports Program definitely wants to talk to you, so you can have an opportunity to talk to the team and give some insight and some of your expertise. Information that you can share with us here at the Nebraska Esports Program.
You get Ahman Green, Dr. Lupo in the same room, I'm sneaking into a meeting. I'm telling you now, Ahman, that's going to happen. But as always, we appreciate your time. We'll look forward to doing another show with you. Ahman, it's been fun. Have a great rest of your week, my man.
All right, Austin, you too. Be safe and see you next week.
Absolutely. There he is, Husker Hall of Famer Ahman Green on the Ahman Green Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Just getting ticket weeknight started for you here on your Thursday. Harrison Arden's in the building. He'll get you through the rest of the night. Big Red Birdies, I believe, is the show for you coming up at 9 tonight. Stay tuned for that. For Ahman, I'm Austin. We'll talk to you later.
Spring is in the air. Everyone knows this is the best time of the year to buy and sell a home. Johanna